なお息巻くか我が身足跡。
I have rewatched the Ghost of Yotei trailer probably about 10 times. So then I went and watched the Japanese version, which if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I'm Mr. Worldwide. Initially, I was gathering all the accurate information I can find about Japan in 1603, about Mount Yotei, about Hokkaido. I apologize if I say these names wrong. Y'all know I can't even pronounce English properly, so just bear with me on that. But fortunately, I found an article here on The Gamer that basically compiled everything that I have found, every question that I had about the game, about was this a revenge story? Even though it's 300 years after Jin Sakai, was we picking up where we left off? Were we still trying to fight against the Shogun? A lot of questions I had, but this article basically saved me a lot of time. I will leave a link down in the description below as well, on top of some articles from the New York Post and some individual journalism, fucking IGN, that I've done myself to kind of give you an idea of exactly what we're about to jump into. So as I mentioned already, so this game is actually set 329 years after the story that we played with Jin Sakai, the ghost. So obviously he's dead now unless we doing some magical shit. So he's gone, but now the legend lives on. Now people are walking around telling the story of Jin Sakai. You heard stories of the ghost? Oh my God, you can imagine hearing those tales, and we lived that. Oh my, in the game when we meet an NPC and they just talk about Jin Sakai. Okay, let me step back. Of course, I wanted a continuation of the Jin Sakai story because I was attached to him. This is the PlayStation game I have the most hours in, even more than God of War, even more than Elden Ring, even more than Last of Us, Horizon, so on and so forth. I have damn near like 750 hours in Ghost of Tsushima. And that's just on that's just on the PlayStation, on PS4, PS5, and on PC altogether. So I love this game. So of course I wanted to see us in part 2 really go after the Shogun, because he was the one that basically made us the bounty and the hit on us, so on and so forth. But just like it happened with Paladin John Marston in Red Dead 1, then we switched over to Arthur in Red Dead 2. Sometimes the story just ends and we move on to a new chapter. So it's not really a lot to be upset about, because you know it's made by Sucker Punch. They're going to keep the core of the game, as Nate Fox has mentioned. That's the creative director of the studio, and I'm excited for a new story. But for anyone that's upset that it's not Jen, I get it. But if you're upset that it's a woman and not a man, go fuck yourself. Click off the video. With that being said, given a time period in the namesake setting, fans think the game will detail the struggle between the indigenous. So between the indigenous Ainu people and the Matsume clan during the beginnings of their colonization in the 1600s. So again, I'm going to be very careful and make sure I explain this as properly as I can, because I know this is actual historical history. And one thing I've learned from covering different cultures like China and Japan and Africa, whatever games may be, y'all are serious about y'all shit. So if someone's just off a little here or there, I apologize, but again, doing the best that I can. So in 1590, Hideyoshi Toyotomi, one of the 3 unifiers of Japan, commissioned that the Matsumu clan to take over the island of Hokkaido, accompanied by the Ainu people, and defended against what he saw as barbarians holding back the unification of the country. Now, if you watched Shogun recently on FX, just won a lot of Emmys. Fantastic show. You have to watch. It's only in Japanese, so you have to pay attention. But the barbarians and the boats, and the point is, I just cut all that. Go watch Shogun. It's phenomenal. The game is set in 1603 on Mount Yotei in the heart of the Oshima Peninsula. The first Anoi war against the Matsume didn't take place until 1669. Up until that point, Japanese merchants traded with the Ainu in what they considered a wild frontier. The island of Hokkaido, rich in natural resources, the Matsumu clan spent the next few centuries violating, expanding into the Ainu territory, erecting trading posts and fishing stations while forcing the indigenous population. Given that we're stepping foot into this region in 1603, long before the first major conflicts, fans speculate that we will play the role of a Ronin in a frozen Wild West. And as you saw in the trailer, some of the shots that they gave us, it was like just like an old Western. And I think the Westerns deprived from old samurai days anyway, from some videos that I've watched. Don't quote me on that, but anyway, it makes sense. I got a feel of Red Dead Redemption meets Ghost of Tsushima kind of clash with the vibes and the music that you should be hearing in the background if I was able to find it. Copyright free, of course. Against the mercenaries and bandits profiting off of Japanese colonization, many viewers are already liking the trailer to a Western, like I just said, which is fitting given how much the genre is inspired by samurai movies. God. So it definitely fits. Rather than fighting a major conflict, defending the island from invaders, perhaps Atsu, which is the actress, by the way, and the actress that plays Atsu is Erika Ishii, also in the upcoming Dragon Age Veilguard 2 as a main character. So she's having a hell of a year. And of course, in the past, she's worked on Apex Legends, Destiny 2, and Deathloop, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Pacific Drive, and Stray Gods. She's a dog. She been grinding for a while, bro. Anyway, so she knows what she's doing. So W to that. So perhaps Atsu will wander from town to town, helping the Anao in their struggle. Sorry, Anao or Ianu? Just tell me down in the comment section below. Don't be crazy about it. Just give me a good, proper enunciation of it, please. The Ianu in their struggle against the Matsume advances. Instead of standing for Japan against the Mongols, as we did with Jin Sakai, Atsu will stand for the indigenous people in Ghost of Yotei. Also over on Games Radar, I saw this as well, that one of a Japanese scholar believes, again, I made this mistake on Assassin's Creed Shadows, by the way. Someone that said there was a Japanese historian, I'm sorry, someone that had said there was a Japanese historian, made a quote, turns out they wasn't a Japanese historian. Ubisoft paid them. I quoted that in my most disliked video on the channel by landslide, just because I got this one little thing wrong. So allegedly, this is a Japanese scholar that said Ghost of Yotei's title features a historical inaccuracy that is so clever that it has to be intentional. So it sounds negative, but it's really not. It's actually a compliment from what he's saying. And Suji Tangiku explains that the inclusion of Yotei is like an intentional inaccuracy. The fact that the Ghost of Yotei is set in Hokkaido, Japan as 1603 is amazing. It encompasses the meanings of ghost in many ways. It has to be intentional. He also describes that in Mount Yotei, the inactive stratovolcano behind the Ghost of Tsushima sequel's title had a different name in 1603. The Ueno people originally dubbed the mountain Machini Shiri during the Meiji period between 1868 and 1912, but instead it was called Mount Shiribishi. It wasn't until later that the people then derived Yotei from Shiribishi, meaning that its appearance in the Ghost of Yotei's title is anachronistic. So according to him, this is almost certainly an intentional mistake on a developable Suckers Punch Park. In the year 1603, Mount Yotei is very much a ghost toponym. So he said that 1603 is a very pivotal year in Japan history because it was a year before the Matsumu clan was given the exclusive right to trade with the Anu people, marking a sad turning point for the Anu, whose dominance in Hokkaido then began to fall. The sequel's plot isn't quite clear yet, but its title may indeed hint towards a tale of Anu revenge. Y'all have no idea how difficult that was for me to read and edit, probably. And lastly, on the New York Times, which is directly, I had to pay for this, by the way, which is, please drop a like, which is directly from the director, the two directors themselves, said this, that you will be able to make choices and decisions in the game, the ones that actually matter. So I would imagine we're going to have multiple endings as well, which will be good. What you're going to be able, because I know at the end of Ghost, even though, well, you know what? I take that back, because at the end of Ghost, you know, you had the option of choosing to spare your uncle or kill him. I killed that motherfucker immediately, bro. What? I'm a ghost bit. But anyway, my third or fourth playthrough, of course, I let him live, so on and so forth. You get the white clothes or you get the ghost clothes. But sounds like in this new iteration of Ghost of Tsushima, aka Ghost of Yotei, you're gonna have a lot more decisions to make like that. That I would imagine that's gonna give us multiple endings. Set to release in 2025. 2025 looks like the final year of video games. So y'all need to look alive, bro, because holy shit. I mean, only if we just got Ghost and GTA 6 alone is just enough, but it seems like it's going to be crazy. And I'm, for one, very, very, very excited. I'm already thinking that collector's edition is going to be so, boy. But so far, that's all we have. My main goal of this video was I just want to give y'all like a little more information of what we have so far. And so far, that's all we have. Of course, I will keep going on with these updates. Anytime something dramatic or something of substance I can find and get back with y'all. So please lock into the channel if you want all Ghosts of Yotei. I keep wanting to say Tsushima. If you want all Ghosts of Yotei updates and everything, please lock into the channel. And last thing I want to say, Assassin's Creed Shadows. If they wasn't in trouble before, they ain't fucking trouble now. I'm the Ghost.